Hunt is on right now for the 7 inmates at large. Maddie Kurth is live outside of Orleans Parish Jail where it all began. Hey, Maddie, any updates from the scene?
Hey, Rob, good morning. Live here outside of the jail. We do have a couple of transport buses here that say Louisiana State Penitentiary heading out of the jail complex. It's hard to tell if that's related to this case or not of these escaped inmates, but that's the latest activity here at the jail. But on top of searching the city and beyond today for those remaining escapees, the Orleans Parish Sheriff Susan Hudson is also looking inward. She launched an investigation into her own employees, so far suspending 3 deputies. Now, Hudson says the jail is only at 60% staffing right now. She and her top officials all saying there are indications that this could have been an inside job. So how do 10 people escape from the Orleans Parish Jail? Well, these photos are from inside the first floor of the jail. They show one way these inmates apparently defeated the system. The sheriff's office says the inmates broke through a wall behind a toilet that was out of view from deputies. They apparently did this after breaking a lock and forcing a sliding door to their cell off of its track. Now, while the jail is reportedly understaffed, one former New Orleans police second in command believes that if there were pressing security concerns, Hudson should have requested outside help before something like this.
And that's where your procedures and protocols will come into play. Given the resources that you have to make do with those resources, but you also have to make sure that your facility is secure. And don't be afraid to reach out for outside sources that may have to help you to do your job until those resources improve.
So Sheriff Hudson is looking into those procedures. She says the only officer assigned to the escapees housing unit had stepped away for food, and that's when those inmates opened the cell door. They pulled the toilet from the wall, got into the recreation yard, climbed a fence, and then crossed the interstate. Meanwhile, jail officials admit that high security inmates were being kept in a minimum security environment. The Orleans Parish District Attorney, Jason Williams, he says he will prosecute anyone found helping in these escapes. Rob, I mentioned those 3 jail employees suspended amid that investigation by the sheriff into whether her deputies helped to coordinate any part of this escape. Now, Crime Stoppers tells us they have been getting tips in, and it is helping officers. So you can report information like sightings if you see one of the fugitives, or maybe if you recognize them and you remember maybe seeing them hang out somewhere, even in the past, maybe some places where they're known to be. You can also report that information to Crime Stoppers. The FBI has a special tip line specifically designated for this. You just log on to fbi.gov/New Orleans fugitives. And Rob, you can report anonymously those tips.
Yeah, and Maddie, you know, as law enforcement said, no tip is too small. They want to know anything that you see right now, and they'll figure out whether or not, you know, it's a valuable bit of information or not. They're just trying to gather as much data as they can right now.
That's right. And remember, there are cash rewards for information that lead to arrests. So if you do see these people and you are feeling nervous, you can report anonymously. You can get that information, and you may get a reward if it's a helpful tip.
And Maddie, I want to update people, because I know a lot of folks are going to be tuning in this morning trying to figure out their day, especially with a busy weekend here in New Orleans. You know, we haven't gotten any indication yet from the sheriff's office or any other law enforcement agencies about any sort of planned media availabilities, I guess you will, for today at all. Have you heard anything of that nature? I mean, we do expect them to say something, but they haven't released any information as to when they might do that yet, have they?
You're right, Rob. We haven't gotten any word from the sheriff or her communications folks about a planned media event. Now, they can be reactionary, right, if they capture another inmate. Like we saw yesterday, the NOPD and the sheriff's office holding press conferences, updating the public as that information comes out. But remember, everybody needs to be staying vigilant right now. We heard it from the DA, Jason Williams, that these people can be considered armed and dangerous right now. They're in a very precarious situation here. They're evading arrest. They're trying to stay hidden, and they're trying to stay away from officers searching for them. So be alert, keep your head on a swivel. You know, if you're local and if you're visiting us, just enjoy the city, of course. You don't need to feel nervous, but just be aware of your surroundings. And remember, 911 is only a phone call away. There are officers patrolling around the jail area here. We're told that they're patrolling around the city as well. We mentioned at the beginning of the hour that reports came into our newsroom of helicopters heard flying above head. So with daylight always comes day 2. of another investigation here and furthering this investigation to find those 7 escapees that remain at large.
All right. Well, thank you, Maddie.